Hello, can you hear me? I can go live. Yes, hello, I'm Dr. Mahishma. I'll be talking about consultant pediatrician, and I'll be talking about 5 things to do when your child gets fever. So this is monsoon season. Every child is suffering with cough, cold, or fever. So we'll be talking about what to do and what not to do in fever, and most importantly, when to seek the medical help. So you can ask your questions now, and I'll take it one by one. So our first question is, let me read. My 4-year-old gets mild fever at times during monsoon. How can I manage this at home? So there is not. Firstly, fever has to be recorded at home, even at home, not just in the hospital. So once if you feel, you cannot just say fever by touching his forearm or forehead or just by hands and legs. If they feel little warmer to you, you can't say it as fever. So you have to digitally record it, and anything above 100.4 degree Fahrenheit will be considered as fever. So monsoon season usually will get flu. Commonly, all fevers will be. Most of them will be flu. So how do you want to manage this at home? Yeah, once you record the temperature, and if it is a normal temperature for baby, will be around 97 degree Fahrenheit to 100 degrees. Okay. So anything above 100.4, give medication. The commonest medication we use is paracetamol. Please do not go for aspirin. So once you give paracetamol, please continue to record temperatures. You don't need to record it every hourly or second hourly. Fourth hourly will do it fine, because we want to know what the pattern of fever is. So if you only if you record the temperature fourth hourly or sixth hourly, you'll know if the kid is getting fever at regular intervals or if it is just a one episode of fever. So that is how you manage. Give the medication and then record the temperatures regularly for the next 48 hours. One more thing to consider, because you have mentioned it as 4-year-old kid, so there is chances of febrile seizures. That is, with episodes of fever, some children may get seizure attacks. That is fits. So you have to be careful about that. Do not allow the temperature to rise more than 101 or 102. And if it is rising with medication, please seek medical help. Okay. So we'll go to the next question. So let me read out. The second question we are getting is, what are the 2-year-old will not restrict to 2-year-old only, will restrict to all children actually. So any fever, like I said, high grade temperatures are considered to be anything above 101 degree Fahrenheit is considered to be high grade fevers. So with high grade fevers, give the medication at home, give paracetamol 1 dose and then seek medical help. So the other danger signs will be, your child will be sick. You may not record the temperature digitally, but they will be sick, in the sense their normal activity will be reduced. They'll preferably like to lie down on the bed, or they may not like to play, or they'll smaller children like around 1-year-old, 2-year-olds will become very irritable. They'll be crying continuously, or they may not eat food normally like they regularly do. Sometimes, on rare occasions, you might find rashes over the body, which is a danger sign, and you need to seek medical help immediately. The other common things which you may notice is vomitings, or not able to eat food, or not passing urine for more than 4 hours or 6 hours. These are all the danger signs you need to look for and seek medical help immediately. So let's go to the next question. My 6-year-old feels feverish often but does not have a rise in body temperature. How can I manage this? So firstly, this is a very good question actually. Everybody says this. There is nothing called as feverish, okay? And medical terms, there's no term called feverish at all. Either you have fever or you don't have fever. Like I said, anything above 100.4 is considered to be fever in children, okay? So anything less. So that is the reason why just touching the body or forearms or forehead or legs and feeling that they're a little warmer than the normal body, other parts of the body, is not fever, and it is not called feverish at all. So anything above 100.4, if you're not able to record it digitally, then that will be a problem. You have to record digitally. Anything above 100.4 is fever. So the other reasons why they might feel a little warmer is overdressing. Sometimes we do tend to overdress children because they're smaller, they have tendencies to get cold and cough at a much more faster rate than adults. So we tend to overdress them in monsoon. Once the monsoon sets in, we tend to overdress. That might be the reason. So you give them loose clothes, avoid overdressing, and then take a digital temperature once. So next question is, my 5-year-old is suffering from fever due to which she's not eating well. What food should I offer her? So anybody with fever, it can be viral or bacterial. Fever is just a symptom of an underlying disease. So it can be a viral infection or a bacterial infection. Their appetite does go down. There might be changes in the taste also. The mouth may taste a little metallic. So it is as common for the children as it is in adults. So give them bland foods, preferably lukewarm foods, and more of liquids. Please concentrate on giving more liquids. Liquids can be in any form other than carbonated drinks. Please do not offer them carbonated drinks. This is to maintain their hydration, because with fever, children will have a tendency to go into dehydration, and they may not pass urine also. And the temperature tends to rise every degree. With dehydration, the temperature also rises. So give lots of liquids to them and offer bland diet. Anything with bland, not too much oil and not too much masala. So the last question preferably, and then we'll wind it up. So how can I boost my kid's immunity to protect him from fever and related illness? So this is again a very good question, because we do not stress that too much in our country, whereas in Western countries, they've been following it for a very long time. So giving flu vaccine for children specifically below 5 years of age is very, very important. It's actually mandatory too, but we are not following it regularly. Please give them a flu vaccine dose just before the monsoon sets in. So in India, we have a tendency to get flu peaks 2 times a year, just before the monsoon and then around November or December in the northern belt of our country. So because of the cold, extreme cold. So either give them before monsoon if you're living in southern areas, southern part of the country, or in the middle regions. And for northern belt, you can give it about just before the severity, and also it will reduce the frequency of children getting fever. Like most of the mothers complain about them getting fever every 3 weeks or 4 weeks once. So it will reduce the frequency also, and it will reduce the severity also. So regarding protecting immunity is by giving vaccination for flu. So we'll end this session with a takeaway message. So please avoid, first takeaway message will be, please avoid any terminology like feverish. There is nothing called as feverish at all. Either we have fever or we do not have fever. So always digitally record the temperature for children. Always digitally record, preferably armpit, because orally they are too young. Some children will be too young, specifically less than 4-year-olds. So record the temperature so that even you will understand, and your doctor also will understand the pattern of the fever. And also, once the fever sets in, please give them, even if it is high degree fevers, do not rush to the hospital without giving paracetamol. Give paracetamol and then rush to the hospital. And if it is very high grade temperature, one last important thing, and I'll wind it up. Please do cold or tepid sponging, not with cold water, but with lukewarm water. You should never put cold water napkins over the body if the baby is having high grade fevers. Okay, it should always be lukewarm water, and preferably do not just put the clothes. You have to rub the whole body, and that will reduce the temperature. So we'll wind up the session now. Thank you so much.